She still has trauma associated with the event. So how dare you make an album and profit off of her pain, especially a Black woman's pain? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, my name is Zhariya Smith, and I typically make commentary videos just like this one. So if you guys like that, or you happen to just love my gorgeous face, make sure to subscribe down below and hit the notification bell to get notified every single time I post, which happens to be on Mondays and on Fridays. I said that so fast. Either way, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about, it's a working title as I'm filming this. You'll know what the title is when you're watching this. But I'm going to be talking about why we excuse Black men, Black artists who mistreat Black women, and just that concept in general. And the main question we're going to be asking in today's video is, should you separate the art from the artist? When speaking about Rkelly, The Atlantic says that some African Americans think that defending Rkelly is a way to push back against the history of false allegations that from white women that were made against Black men. We all know about the Tulsa riots. We all know about that situation. So then allegations that functioned as assault on Black communities, as they were commonly used by white people to justify the lynching of African American men during the Jim Crow era, as you guys know. And then we became known by the term coined by Protect Black Men, or just the concept of protecting Black men from racism, from the police, from discrimination just as a whole. And notice how I said Black men, not Black women. There was this book made in 1990 that was called Yearning: Race, Gender, and Cultural Politics. And the author, she writes that many of us were raised in homes where Black mothers, in a way, kind of excused behavior that their Black sons did. They excused male anger, irritability, and violence by calling attention to the pressures that Black men face against racism in America, ignoring that Black women also do face similar racism. And there was an assumption that racism is more oppressive to Black men than Black women, are fundamentally based on the acceptance of patriarchal norms of, or notions of, masculinity. Now, we all know about Rkelly. We all know the horrible things that he allegedly did. If you guys haven't, you should definitely watch the Surviving Rkelly documentary on Netflix. I will say it is very difficult to watch, especially if you are a victim of in any context. But people still listen to him now, and that's a thing that I am going to be talking about. People kind of, not in a way excused Rkelly, but they'll be like, oh, well, he allegedly manipulated and hundreds of minors, but Ignition is still a bop, you know, or saying like, oh, I can't not listen to I Believe I Can Fly, or any of his other hit songs. And there are many people in the Black community, especially Black women, who say, well, it's the girl's fault, or it's the parents' fault for letting their daughter go away with Rkelly, and not Rkelly's fault for doing these heinous actions towards young Black women. And speaking about Black women being mistreated, I'm going to be talking about the Tory Lanez and Meg the Stallion situation, and how that also plays into this separating the art from the artist, and about Black men being protected by society when mistreating Black women. So Meg the Stallion was shot by Tory Lanez on July 12th, but she publicly then went on Instagram Live and was talking about how, you know, the situation unfolded on July 15th. And and a good thing to note is that also goes into protecting Black men, is that Meg the Stallion herself said that she wanted to protect him. She knew that when the police came, that if there were any situations to arise, if she said, oh, he shot me, the situation would immediately go a different type of way than it ended up going, you know. After that situation, you know, she was still being vocal about, you know, getting shot, and Tory Lanez was generally silent on the matter. He wasn't really saying that he did shoot her. He wasn't saying that he wasn't. He was just kind of, you know, not talking. However, on September 24th, he made a tweet. I'll put it on the screen. And he released his album Daystar. Now, before I say, I think that it's honestly disgusting that a person wants to profit off of whether or not he shot Meg Thee Stallion. That's a whole other thing. But to profit off of pain, to profit off of Meg Thee Stallion's pain, because let's say, for instance, he didn't shoot her. Let's say another person shot her. She still believes that he shot her. She still has trauma associated with the event. So how dare you make an album and profit off of her pain, especially a black woman's pain. But regardless, in the album, through his lyrics, he says essentially that he did not shoot her. He gaslit her. And he also said that they were in a romantic relationship. So whatever. In one of the lyrics, he says, "Since the event, you never called me, but you can't deny me. If you got shot from the event, if you got shot from behind, how can you identify me?" Which is true, but also read the room. You could have just as easily as you wrote that lyric, you could have just made a statement on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. But to go through more in depth of this album, because I would say, don't listen to it. Don't give him any sort of money from profiting off the situation of Meg Thee Stallion getting shot. But in his song, Money Over Fallouts, he says, "People trying to frame me for a shooting, and girl, you had the nerve to write that statement, but," says, "knowing I ain't do it, but I'm coming at my truest, trying to keep this bad word 200 with you, shorty, I can't prove it." Which, okay. He also says, "How the F did you get shot in your foot? Don't hit no bones or tendons." If you know, she did post about like her wounds that she had after getting shot. So it could be in reference to that. I don't know, but it clearly is a direct attack towards Megan. Next on the track, Queen and Slim, Tory raps, "I wasn't the wrong one that night. You was just too drunk to even see it. I've never even had an argument with you." Again, this album is very obviously directed at Megan. I don't know who would think that it wasn't. But then on the song In the Air, he raps, "I've never hit no woman," and says the situation is a test from God. He said he's using Megan as a vessel and a test of faith, which in the black community, we like to say, "Oh, God's just testing me," or "God's testing me right now." And there'll be situations where you want to, like for instance, saying like, "Oh, God's testing me because he doesn't want me to fight her," or "He's testing me and it's a test that I'm going to fail," just stuff like that. That's like a common black community situation. So, people, after Tory Lanez, this whole situation happened, I saw a TikTok that made me angry. So I'm going to put it on the screen. But essentially, this guy is saying that, oh, she has some explaining to do, essentially, because of what Tory Lanez is saying in his music. And the concept that a man says one thing and you immediately discredit the woman. Can we go back to Will Smith and Jada Smith? How Jada, in their open relationship, was in a relationship with August, an entanglement with August or whatever, and men said that they were going to start cheating on women all 2020 because of what Jada did to Will in their open relationship. But aside from Tory Lanez, aside from all that stuff, we're going to now change topics before I get angry. So, another black man who has profited off of this, disrespecting black women, being constantly violent, but fans still supporting them because they protect black men and black men are always being mistreated or whatever it is. We're going to talk about Chris Brown. In February of 2009, as we all know, Chris Brown assaulted Rihanna. I can say that because there is literal, and he admits to it later on that he did hit her and he did regret it, I guess, but in a documentary, he talks about the incident, and I'll be reading it off, but he says that Rihanna was suspicious of texts he had been receiving from another woman, and said that she was fighting him, and he said, "I'm telling you the truth, I swear to God, stop it." And then he says that she physically hit him more times, and then says that she tried to kick him, and he hit her with a closed fist and punched her. Now, we do not know if Rihanna actually was hitting him. If she was, that is domestic violence. Just point blank, period. I love Rihanna. I love me some Fenty. But if she hit him, that is domestic violence. However, Chris Brown, when he walked out of that car, I didn't really see any like major injuries. I'm not saying that she didn't hit him, but I'm saying clearly there was a power dynamic and there was a difference of power that was in that situation. But regardless, he said, I look back at that picture and I'm just like, that's not me. I hate it to this day. That's going to haunt me forever. You know what's going to haunt Rihanna forever? Being publicly abused and having that picture of her circulating around her entire life. Chris Brown not only assaulted Rihanna, he also has a long history of violence towards women. And I'm saying, as a woman, I personally wouldn't want to be near an abuser. Because why would you support an abuser? But that's just me. He also jumped Frank Ocean in 2013. That was a whole situation. And he also said some homophobic slurs towards Frank Ocean. He also is, as I said, colorist, at least in my opinion. He said he only likes black girls with good hair, and just general, just not a vibe. And so much more Chris Brown has done throughout his career. And yet he still has millions of fans. He is still thriving. He is very rich. And the concept of seeing an alleged abuser walk around and be completely unscathed because all the people that he has hurt are black. All of the people, at least that we know, public record, that Rkelly has hurt were black. All of the Tory Lanez hurt Meg the Stallion, who is black. Do you see a pattern here? Malcolm X said,
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman.
Why are we still supporting these black male artists who clearly are aggressive and clearly are honestly putting a bad name on black artists in general? So why are we still supporting them? Why are we still giving them money and funds and all this stuff? It makes no sense. So when I was doing research for this video, I decided to do a poll on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it is at @zhariyasmith_. So you can be included in the next poll or video or whatever I do. But I asked a simple question. Do you separate the art from the artist? Because that's a common thing, at least for the past 2 years that I've heard, separating the art from the artist, And music is art. Personally, for me, if you ask me, I don't. For me personally, whenever I find a new artist, I immediately look up their name plus allegations. If I see anything that makes me feel uncomfortable or something that I'm like, yeah, I definitely can't support a person if they've done X, Y, Z, that's what I personally do. I'm not telling you to do that. But it is very hard, especially it's no secret. I'm a huge Kanye West fan, and Kanye West is a very, very problematic person. I can't deny that, So there are situations, obviously, I'm a hypocrite if I say I don't separate the art from the artist, because Kanye West is not really the best person, allegedly. I guess, I don't know. I don't know him as a person, but I'd say as a general thing, I don't separate the art from the artist. I did the poll and I asked, do you separate the art from the artist? 42% of people said yes, and 58% of people said no. So also in this post, I said, so if yes, if you do separate the art and the artist, what would they have to do for you to not support them anymore? And this was the general consensus that people said. So one person said, if they don't agree with basic human rights, they wouldn't support them anymore, Or another person said that they have to be problematic. For example, homophobia is a no, racism is a no, body shaming is a no. That's another thing. So it's very common for people to say if they don't respect human beings, then I'm not going to support them. I.e. Bill Cosby, for example. Another person said that they said yes and no. They said also appreciate the art for what it was, but something will feel off, so I can't. That's how, honestly, every single time I listen to Ignition or any other of R. Kelly's songs, even though he makes no money off of them, I feel a certain amount of disgust, because the songs are very sexual, and me feeling like those sexual songs were written about a 13-year-old or 14-year-old girl makes me disgusted. Another person said, if it's from the past, I don't cancel them for it unless it's really bad. But if it's current, I try my best to. Also, they said, you keep listening to oldies, but you don't support anything new, which also is another thing that I think is important to note. But to close out this video, which I don't even know how long I've been filming for, but I know it has to be at least 30 minutes. So to end the video, I would like to say that separating the art from the artist, that is up to you to answer. I know I said I'm going to be answering that question, but it's honestly up to you. It's up to you as a person. You have the right to support or not support an artist. You have the right to spend money on them. You have the right to do whatever you want. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, because I really have small channels like mine. I know it's really close to September 30th, but I really, really, really want to hit 500 subscribers by the end of this month. I know I'm really pushing it, but I really want to get to 500 subscribers because that would be like so crazy to me. Also, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Make sure to leave a comment down below and tell me your opinion about this topic, your opinions about, you know, the Tory Lanez situation, Chris Brown, you know, all this stuff, you know. And make sure to stay happy and stay healthy, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.